Why don't we just celebrate, right? Just 2024 over and over and over again each and every day. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Right? So you'd be like, yeah, hell, let's do this. Let's do this. And I'll give you a little tip too. Work each and every day like you're going on vacation tomorrow. Wow, that's got a good response. Yeah, I'm not really, but act like it. Okay, if you're leaving on vacation tomorrow, how much shizzle are you getting done today?
A lot of shizzle.
You're a different animal. Right? You get stuff done. So just do it. Remember, I didn't know I was gonna go on this tangent, but I guess I am, right? We know that we have certain work that we have to do on a daily basis. Is that right?
Yes.
And for those of you that are new, real estate, whatever you thought real estate was getting into this industry, it's not. Just let you know, it's a whole different ball game, but it's super exciting. But like we've been talking on morning mindset, there's 5 income producing activities. And I'm preaching to the choir with some of you are new, you know, you'll be hearing this over and over and over and over again, right? However, we have to repeat it always so you get it. You don't complicate things. And for those of you, like I said, I'm preaching to the choir, this is the time, right? We get to the basics. How many times do we go about our life and our business and so forth, and we're just like, oh, what's the shiny new object? What is the magic pill? What is it that I can do or I can pay for or I can get to do business? Right? At the end of the day, it's, what is it, Linda?
Work.
Exactly.
Consistency.
Consistently with intentionality, we have to do the income producing activities. First and foremost, what is it? No. It's script practice role play. And I know I get resistance on this all the time, but I don't give 2 hoots, 3 hoots. Is it? Right? It doesn't matter. This is a skill-based business now more than ever. Have you guys been hearing me say that? Right? And what is our theme for the year? 2 things, right? It goes hand in hand. It's an Olympic year and it's survival of the fittest. Okay, so what are you doing to be the fittest? What are you doing to be mentally prepared? What are you doing, right, to make sure your skills are top notch? Right? Because there's someone else out there, you know, I always make the sports analogies, like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, right? They were practicing when other people weren't. So that's why they were stellar. They were relentless, right, in their pursuit of whatever is perfection for them. Right? They wanted to be the best version of themselves each and every day. So I'm going to go to the quote of the day. Eileen, what is that?
The bad news is time flies. The good news is you're the pilot. I was gonna say the good news is you're alive.
Yeah. That's good news too. Right? So how is this true? Who would have thunk, right, that we would be in 2024 one day? Okay, when I was born a gazillion years ago, I was just like, wow, 2024, that wasn't even in my realm of possibility of thinking about what it looked like. Right? Do you guys remember when it turned 2000?
Yeah.
We all thought we were gonna die. Right? So what does this mean to you, Eileen?
The bad news.
I mean, time flies, right?
Yeah, for me, it's just, you know, even this morning or every time, you know, I talk with somebody, they'll say Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I'm like, man, every day is Monday for me. Yeah, it just goes by so fast. And, you know, already from the second week, I was like, damn, January's gonna be over. Yeah. So it's like, what do I want to do? And where do I want to be? That's where I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to focus on your goals each and every day. You focus on your dreams, focus on your task, whatever that word is for you, right? You have to know because we get to create, we are the pilot of our destiny. We are the pilot, right, of wherever we want to go. We are the pilot. We get to make a decision whether we're going to increase our altitude, decrease, land, you know, take off, whatever the case may be in our lives, right? Because mindset is everything. I read this on Morning Mindset on Monday, but I'm really shocked why we don't have more people on Morning Mindset.
There's 22 people.
I know,
That's pretty.
right? There should be 50 or 100. I'm grateful for the people that are there every day because they are committed, right, to just starting their day on getting a pop. Hey, who is that guy? Is that Justin? That's Justin. He has opened 2 escrows in the last 3 days. Congratulations. Oh, and you Calabasas escrow. Woo! Thank you. But I wanted to make sure y'all heard this, okay? Has anybody read Tim Grover?
Yes.
Awesome. Right? He's a great author. This is the book Relentless. I absolutely love it. He coached, right? Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, just to name a few. And if people are in sports, you all know who those people are, right? And even if you're not in sports, you at least know the top 2. Right? So when he talks about, so when you're being an athlete, right, professional athlete, it's all about, you know, you have to have the physical strength, all that kind of stuff, but 95% of it is mental. Right? Because you got to tell your body where to go. You got to tell what to do, so on and so forth, and also get you through obstacles. So just read this one thing and we'll get on with our team meeting. Okay, admit. Okay. So it says, do the work. Do the work, right? So and that's in every area of your life. It says do, period, work. Every day you have to do something you don't want to do. Is that true?
Yes.
Thank goodness, I thought I was the only one that there's some things I just did not want to do, right? And it says every day, challenge yourself to be uncomfortable. How many times do we use that word? Get comfortable being uncomfortable, being outside your comfort zone, right? Push past the apathy and laziness and fear. Otherwise, the next day you're going to have 2 things you don't want to do. Then 3 and 4 and 5, and pretty soon you can't even get back to the first thing. Does that ever happen to anybody? You keep putting off. Oh. Wow, so where's Sonia go? Oh, she had a great example on Monday. A lot of people, how many people push off going to the doctor? Right? And then you're like, oh, how'd that happen? Well, because you don't go to the doctor. Right? It's just plain and simple. So, and then all you can do is beat yourself up for the mess you've created. Has anybody ever created a mess?
Yes.
Oh, so that must be affirmative. Right? I mean, we're all human, right? We have this avoidance behavior in every area of our life. It's not just business, right? So, and then all you can do is beat yourself up for the mess you've created. Now you got a mental barrier to go along with the physical barriers, right? They all go hand in hand, right? So if we're beating ourselves up about stuff that we're not doing, then we have this avoidance behavior, then we physically don't want to get out of bed or get to the office or do whatever. Do you agree that when you're in the office and you're around all this amazing talent here, that you guys support each other to get each other to the highest level?
Yes.
I love that. Right? Because it is, sometimes it's easy to get stuck in, oh, I'll just work from home. I'll just do it from here. And then all of a sudden you gotta go do the dishes. You gotta go put a load of laundry in. What? Is it true?
True.
For sure.
Right? You get distracted. One of the things, if you guys would focus, what is 2 hours out of 24 hours? Is that a lot
No.
in the whole scheme of things?
No.
One of the things that they've been saying for years, if you would commit, being undistracted, being intentional to lead generation or whatever the proper political word is for lead gen, 2 hours a day, that's it, your life will change forever. Right? And why do you think some people can't get the 2 hours in? Why do you think? Huh?
Any excuses?
Yeah, and why do we have excuses? And then why do we procrastinate?
Because they're scared.
Because they're scared. Why are they scared?
Rejection.
Rejection. Why are they, what bothers people about rejection?
It hurts.
It hurts. Why does it hurt?
Nobody likes to be told no.
No, right. And why don't you like to be told no?
I have flashbacks to my childhood.
But hey, but I mean, we laugh at it, but there's truth to it, right? Because we get molded, right, at a very young age. And there could be something, right, there could be something that someone said to you at some time, didn't even need to be in your childhood, right, that you decided to attach to. Right? Has anybody done that? I remember in my mid-30s, I was having a actually, I had a relationship with him. I had a relationship with this gentleman for a period of time who I put on a pedestal. He's super successful. I told him my dreams. He cut me to the core about what I wanted to do. And I attached to that for years. Was that crazy? Like, why do you give someone so much power? And I'm talking about myself. So if there's something, when you ask yourself about, and this is not what was on my agenda for today, but we'll go with it. Right? So what is it? So remember when I was asking you guys questions, we started with one and we asked why, then we asked why, and then we asked why again. That's the only way you can get to the core of what your limitations may be or what your why is. Right? Because the only way you'll get past the fear is if your why is strong enough to get you flipping on the phones or in front of people every single day. So it's only for you guys to figure that out. Does that make sense? And then just go after it, even when it feels horrible, if it's out of your comfort zone, it's like, oh, what are people gonna think? Who cares? Who cares what people think? Right? Are they paying your bills? Are they gonna be there in your, when you're going to wherever or doing whatever, right? It's up to you to get it done because you know what? Time flies. One of my daughters reminded me last night that I'm creeping on 60. I tried to avoid, but it's like, okay.
You don't look.
But, no, it's weird. Time flies. Like, who would have thought, right?
I will be in a few days.
Congratulations. But the good news is we get to create it. We're the pilot. So we got to enjoy each and every day. So, anybody want to add to that? No? Did I put a lot in there to unpack?
Top that.
Okay, so with that said, you can tell that I'm passionate about life, right? I'm passionate about each and every one of you in this office because us all together makes, we create that market share, we create the buzz, we're here to help one another. What just happened to you?
I got listening.
Congratulations. Cameron, you've been with us a month?
3 weeks.
Yeah. 3 weeks. And how did you get the listing? Yeah.
Hey, say it louder, Karen.
Cold calling.
There you go.
That's awesome. Congratulations for that. And so you know what? It works. He sits here, he comes in here and he calls every day. Right? Calls every day. Justin.
I have a question for you. Did they tell you, yeah, come on over on the first call? No. Okay. On the third call?
Yeah, they're cool, actually.
Yeah, most people give up on the first.
Yeah.
Hey, say that.
And can I also add, because I've been watching and listening and being astounded at his quick progress, he's having conversations. He's saying, can I just ask you a quick question? And then he starts a conversation and then it turns into something. He's very natural at that. And it's honing his craft of talking and not selling.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, congratulations. That he's here. And I know, obviously, some of you work from home, you guys have different areas that you work, but get on the phones. It's okay. Philip.
I can throw something about Cameron. First day I meet him, he showed me a binder with goals, how many contacts he needs to make, how many deals he needs to make. Very specific.
Yeah.
We kind of get veterans to do that. And here he is showing us, oh, well, I go X, I need X, Y, Z to accomplish that. And this is what I'm gonna be able to get in.
Yep.
So man, you need to stay on that course, regardless if you're making $100 a week or nothing a week. Keep on that. That's gonna separate you. That's gonna put you in so like relentless. Like Dustin,
Yep.
he says here.
Yep, that's awesome, because it is a simple business, and sometimes we try to complicate it. Because we didn't say it was easy, but it's simple. Remember so go back, I only gave you one of the 5 income producing activities, right? Script and role play practice, lead generation, lead follow-up, going on appointments and negotiating contracts. That's it. Yeah, you got some admin stuff, but some of you get stuck in, well, my website sucks. Well, I don't really care. Right? And people don't care. Sometimes people go, oh, right? And then you're like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do to get your home sold. Do you think my website's gonna sell your home? No. Right? No, it's not. Right? Stick to the basics. That's for the person that's here first day. And that's for the person that's been here probably the longest. Right? Or you maybe, right? They've been in the business a long time. Cause like Roger's had, he hired a coach. Right? And what is he getting you to do? The basics. That's it. It's not complicated. So let's try not to keep complicating things. Right? Is life out there, all the, especially, I can't wait for 2024. It's gonna be a wild ride, right? With all this stuff. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, remember at the last team meeting, when I always said, expect the unexpected? Right? And I want to make sure that you all didn't take it as a negative connotation. Right? It doesn't mean, yeah, there are some things in life that the unexpected when it happens is like, should that really happen? And then you got to navigate through that, right? But there are unexpected things that happen that are absolutely amazing. You always have to be open to receive what's coming to you from wherever. Don't try to control where it's coming from. Right? So if we're out there making phone calls, right? And you're like, okay, this needs to be reciprocated only here. No, that's not how it works. Right? As long as you have the intention, as long as you're making the phone calls or the contacts, however you're having real estate conversations, be open to receive it from wherever it happens to come from, because you're putting the intention out there. Correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. Did you want to add anything to
Well,
that?
it's just, I was just sharing with Stephanie, during the holidays, I was on the way to the market with my wife, and there was an open house in my neighborhood with some strange signs, so the guy was an out-of-area agent. And I just popped in and I just got into a real estate conversation with him. He's an agent. And it turned out he was getting another, because it was his parents' house, he was getting another listing in the neighborhood, a friend of his parents. So I told him I had a buyer for it, and before it was on the market, I had it sold. He let me pick the escrow. And maybe I'm gonna sell his parents' house too, so it's just these relationships, and I was on the way to the market. So, again, I was just grateful that, that I was out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, a prime example of just being open to receive it from wherever it comes. Because if we live our life with intentionality, right, and we're focusing on building our business or whatever, and then that's when the magic happens.
I think there's also an importance of, and it's so old school, but like seeing the inventory.
Yeah.
Like getting out to these open houses and seeing, if you have a neighborhood, you gotta see everything on the market, get to know the agent, and you just don't know what opportunities are gonna come from that. Because a lot does come from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Opportunity to create content to your new agent, take pictures, post those pictures.
Yeah.
So,
And it's crazy too, because this guy's got his parents' house on the market, and it just shows terror. And I tried to tell him how to kind of change things, he won't do it. So, I'm hoping to sell it to my investor.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just have real estate conversations every single day, guys and gals. That's what it's about. Right? It's real estate conversations. Don't complicate it. Keep it streamlined. Okay? And there's no magic pill. Just letting it out. Right? You're just like, oh, okay, if I buy all these leads, I'm gonna be number one. Okay. Do you guys ever notice that everybody's number one? You all are number one. Okay, so let's go. We're already 20 minutes in and we're on our second slide. Okay, welcome to the Keller Williams Calabasas family. Woo! Okay. Asterisk is determined She came back to us.
Yay!
For the third time. That says a lot, right? So we have Astrid, Amanda, Moses, welcome, Vanessa, welcome, and King. So super excited to have a lot of great talent, world-class talent joining already, the world-class talent that we have here. So thank you, and look forward to the journey together. Okay, Mr. Scott Leroy, I know you're on there. Where are ya?
Hey, I should be coming up now. Hey, how's it going over there?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on today. I appreciate it. So perfect. Awesome. So my name is Scott Leroy. I run what I call the lamest name company of all time, Scott Leroy Marketing. And we're really here to kind of help you out with all of your different K2B technology to make your life that much simpler. So inevitably at the end of the day, our goal is to kind of help to alleviate as much of this from your plate as possible on here. And oh, if it's possible to enable screen sharing, that'd be fantastic.
Sorry.
I saw the quick turnaround walk on there.
Oh, wait, where is it? Oh, video, where is it?
More.
Do I have to do it over here? Oops. I'm sure, oh, here, no. It's usually. Oh, here we go. Okay, sorry about that. There you go.
No worries. Oh man, it says I can't share while the other participant's sharing right now.
Got stop share. Okay, there you go.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, I'll make it very quick on here, I promise. Yeah, so this is the scottleroymarketing.com website on here, and really this is meant for y'all to kind of basically jump on and have some fun. Utilize anything and everything that's accessible for y'all to make your life a little bit easier on all the different K2B technology. So the best part is everything that you'll want to utilize is all accessible under this agent resources section on here. So once you sign in with 850, that'll give you access to all these different items right away. So the first big thing I love highlighting is obviously we have our questionnaire section, and y'all may recall that obviously from getting set up originally. But the best part is there is a section on here just for existing agents. I love this one because it's a great way to say, as of January 23rd, if I was to start again today and refresh everything, what all am I missing? What all needs to be set up on here that we can help out with even more? So the best part is it's 6 questions, 2 of which are just your first and last name. All right, and it'll allow us to go through and basically optimize your entire account as if you're starting again today to really fill all those holes for you as well. All right, so that's scottleroymarketing.com/existing. And then we do have live classes that are happening every Monday through Friday as well too. So these are happening right at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So every Monday through Friday, right at 10 a.m., there's going to be a live training class. We have one that's going on right now. That's really just meant for you to kind of see anything and everything that you might want to learn about on the K2B side. So once you now are up to date with the newest technology, what all do you want to access even further? And we have our training classes available through our training calendar if you want to see what courses are happening throughout the month. And we're about to have that January one come out very soon as well too, along with some additional training options. So if you want to utilize our challenge to kind of see what you need to do in the next 30 days or less to really take advantage of all the K2B technology, or even our little cheat sheets on here for some FAQ walkthrough options. So all those classes are recorded. So just to give you a heads up, they're all alphabetically organized, but chronologically organized so you can access the most recent class right away. All right, so that way if you want to go through and see any of the different classes that maybe are occurring that you aren't able to make it to that meeting, that's okay. All right, if we had a campaigns class today, for instance, then this might say something like campaigns 101-1/23. So that way you can access that immediately on here. All right, and then of course, if you're looking for something that's a little bit less than maybe a 1-hour overview or anything like that, we do have our tech tips on here. All right, so for the tech tips section, this is a great way to go through and just see some quick, 1 to 5 minute video options This is basically going to walk you through just quick little snippets of what you might be looking for. And these are coming out live every week around Tuesday. So please be on the lookout for that. So if you want something a little bit shorter than the 1 hour training class and just a quick update, that'll help out tremendously. My favorite thing to highlight though is this agent support section. So under scottleroymarketing.com/support, I always like to tell everyone, please think of us as an extra staff member in the office to help you with all of your different KDB technology. Whether it's, geez, you're having an issue with your website, having an issue with DocuSign, with your database, whatever it may be, we can help out with that right away. All right. So outside of, seeing our contact information at the bottom of every page, we also have free services that we'll just do for you. So if you need help going through and utilize any of these top rated ones, like importing contacts into Command, or even if you need help reformatting your bio and making a new one, we can help to rewrite that for you. We even have services purely around the KW platform. We have services around the Keller Cloud services, whether it's My KW, Command, or even Connect. We have services around your kw.com email, even around the websites, whether you have the prior Command website or the upgraded version, we can help with that right away. And then even some of our own little third-party support requests that we're now providing for agents. So a lot of fun extra items that are accessible on here for you. And all these little red rectangles are just clickable buttons. So if you want to fill out this form, we'll know exactly what you're looking for so we can help out immediately. Or of course, if you reach out to us and you say like, hey, I need a QR code, we can work off of that right away as well too. All right, so that's all accessible on here for you. All right, and then the final thing we do have are templates. So under that templates section, we have free templates that are available for you to utilize on here. These are all through Canva. So if you have a Canva account, you can use it right away. Or of course, if you want to download them and upload them through Designs, please feel free. Those are all accessible for you to utilize in addition to what's available through Command. All right, so once again, everything is under that scottleroymarketing.com site. You'll sign in with 850 to log in, and then everything you'll want to take a look at is under agent resources on here. So please take advantage of that existing agent questionnaire today. That's a great way to make sure that you're set up for success this January and getting into 2024. And then of course, please feel free to take advantage of all of our services on there. These are all free items that are just available for you from the graciousness of the office. So definitely utilize anything and everything. And feel free to reach out to us at any time so we can help you out with all the different KD technology right away.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate you and everything. I mean, all the new stuff. I mean, when Bree and I met with you, I think it was last week or the week before or something like that, but this month I was like, holy moly, I didn't know like half the stuff that you were talking about, and it's just incredible. So if you all are not utilizing Scott Leroy, please, like I said, go to scottleroymarketing.com and fill it out. It's just another great support tool for us. So thank you for everything that you've done and continue to do.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Look forward to helping everyone out.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Scott. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, still recording. Okay, awesome. Okay, go back to screen share. Okay. Okay, Scott Leroy. Okay, speaking of technology, next Wednesday, the 31st, there is, with this Donnie Brookman, they have at the Encino office, they're having a Command Con, which is going over some of the stuff regarding your database. It's 11 to 2, lunch is provided, and they have since taken away the $25 investment, if you will. So it's free to go. So if you guys want it, oh, there's no command code. I mean, say it. Yeah, I thought there was a thingamabob on it. So I will have Brenda send out with the registration link on it. Okay, so just another tool to get you guys all, look at, there's QR code for this though. For technology. Okay, family reunion. You have till midnight tonight at the price they'll be going up. So who's all going to family reunion?
I am.
I will. Yay, Susie. Yeah, I know you will. All right, Linda, are you? Okay. All right, awesome. So Tony Robbins is there, Mel Robbins is there, Eileen's going, Emilio's going, Sonia's going, I'm going. So it should be about, out of all the Forward Living offices, about 75 of us will be there. So we'll have our Forward Living event on Monday, Monday, February 26th at 8 p.m. And I'm negotiating with Fountain Blue right now. Does anybody, okay, here we go. All right, she's in a recruiting appointment, but productivity coaching she's averaging probably about 3 closings a month with her new agent. So just super excited for her. Okay. Broker moment with Rich Pisani. Yeah.
Oh, how quickly it changes. No more President Rich Pisani.
I was just like, oh my God, I was wondering if okay, what do I call you now? What are you?
No, I'm just teasing.
I
It's
know,
like-
because I'm like, is he gonna notice that?
oh, that's a silly question, Stephanie. Will I notice that? Anyways, good morning, everyone. So it has happened. It has happened in our office. One of our agents, a listing agent, has a listing with a seller, and the seller does not want to provide any compensation to the other side. And the question was, can we do that? And the answer is, you better believe you can do that. And if that's the request of the seller, you need to do that. Now, you should have a conversation with the seller. And this falls into my class later tomorrow. You need to have this conversation with your seller in that, Mr. Seller, it's well within your rights to not offer any compensation, but you will be limiting your pool of buyers because there will be some buyers who cannot pay that commission to their agent. So I just put that out there for you to have that knowledge. But absolutely, if that is your wish, that will be what we will do. And if I was that listing agent, I would also point out to any buyer's agent, please be aware, seller is not paying any compensation. So,
Roger.
So you take this listing, and then a buyer comes in and says he wants you to write the offer.
You as the he wants you to double end it, okay? Yeah.
That's not a double end if you're not gonna get paid, so how does that work?
Well, it still is.
It still is double ending it. It's that's yet another negotiation with your seller. Mr. Seller, buyer wants me to write this. Well, first I would have the conversation with the buyer and say, are you willing to write up a buyer broker agreement for me to represent you and pay me a commission to represent you? If the answer is no, then
what if they say no? What if they say no? And I'm willing to write the offer for no compensation. What's my obligation to the seller?
Your obligation to the seller is to represent the seller and the buyer in a dual agency situation.
But are you forced to do that with no fee is my question. If somebody comes in, they're not going to pay, the seller doesn't want to pay you, do I have to write that offer?
No, you don't.
Okay.
That's why I say you have to, your first conversation is with the buyer. Are you willing to sign a buyer broker agreement and pay me the commission since the seller is not paying me the commission? And if the answer, let me finish. And if the answer is no, then it is your obligation to make up your mind whether you want to proceed with that or not?
And then, of course.
And if the answer is not, you say to the buyer, Mr. Buyer, thank you very much, but you'll need to find other representation.
I mean, I think that's a conversation that if a seller comes to you with that request, you have to sort of tell them up front, I'm not gonna represent the buyer for free. I can't do that. Right?
Sure, that's part of the conversation, but the bigger conversation is that you won't have as much of a pool of buyers available to you because some buyers are not able, depending on what the listing is, first-time buyers probably aren't going to be able to pay that compensation. And Cindy, correct me if I'm wrong, lenders are not tying up the compensation in with a loan because it screws up the loan to value ratio. So
Totally out of pocket on the side.
I'm sorry.
It would be totally out of pocket. It would not be part of the.
Right. Exactly. So that's the conversation you have to have with the seller. But if they still insist that they don't want to pay the buyer's compensation, you also have a choice at that time whether to take the listing or not. I would still take the listing. Because remember, people, we have to change the way we're doing business. If you're representing a buyer, you need to get a buyer broker agreement in place to get paid, just in case in this instance that the seller is not making your compensation. It's paying your compensation. In February in Monterey, I will be in Monterey at CAR meetings, and I've already been told one of the conversations is bringing back up that a buyer broker agreement, it will be required by legislation, by law, for all agents to get before they represent a buyer. Now, whether it goes anywhere, I don't know, but it will. Before the conversation was had, and everybody thought, no, we don't need it to be legislated. Well, now we're looking at the result of a lawsuit, which is being disputed and whatnot, and that's going on in Missouri, and but it has ramifications to us in California, and we are going to have to do business differently.
Rich, it's Jasmine. I have a question. If we're faced with that conversation, is that something that we come back to the office and discuss with Stephanie and you prior to signing off on anything?
Meaning what?
Meaning that the seller doesn't want to offer a compensation to the cooperating broker.
No, if that's the seller's wishes and you're willing to take that listing, then it's not subject to manager. Absolutely not. I wouldn't give the impression that I'm sorry, I have to get, that's what's getting everybody in trouble here. And that's what I'll go over in my class tomorrow, in that agents are saying, well, it's mandatory, or they're using another word for mandatory, that you do this, and it is not. And that's what all these lawsuits are about.
Great job. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, good morning. I would just quick follow-up question. So let's say I took the listing and there's no compensation for the buyer's agent, and I refuse to write the offer for the buyer after having a conversation with the buyer that he's not going to be paying me. Am I breaching the fiduciary duty to the seller? No.
No. No. Because you haven't, number one, you haven't established an agency relationship with the buyer. It's a conversation with the buyer. If you would like me to sign, if you would like me to submit an offer, I need a buyer broker agreement in regards to the compensation. And if the buyer's not willing to do that, then, you know, that's up to, that's on him.
I have one more question. So the new contract, there's a check mark on it about the compensation, the buyer's compensation,
Mm-hmm.
that the seller will pay it. If that
Mm-hmm.
check, is that considered a closing? That's
Wait,
for
yeah, there's the extraneous noise you cut out. So say that again. If that,
question for Cindy. So we have on our purchase agreement, you check it that the seller will pay the compensation for the buyer broker agreement, correct?
right, if there is a buyer broker agreement in place,
Correct. So
that is only checked if the buyer's agent already has a buyer broker agreement in place. If they don't have one in place and they just want them to pay the compensation, it doesn't work that way.
understood, but let's say that all those things are in place.
Mhm.
Is that now considered a closing cost?
Yes.
No, it's the seller is then agreeing to pay the compensation if they agree to it. So it's like any other, you know, they're amending their listing agreement to say, I will pay the buyer's agent.
My 2 cents. So I think it would be looked at from our perspective, like the lender's perspective, like similar to a closing cost if it's not a closing cost, but it's neither here nor there below. Because the closing costs have to be paid by the buyer. So
There's
I'll
only
leave
a
it to that.
certain amount that you're allowed to ask a seller to pay, right? 3%.
Yeah, that's true. So it could
So
go
now-
up against limits, number one. Number two, there are grant programs that cover closing costs, whether it would contribute to that or not, I'm not really certain.
I wouldn't think so.
And remember that commission is negotiable. I heard somebody say a percentage. We don't talk about percentages. It's negotiable. There are no set percentages for compensation.
Yeah, so if they're asking, so if the buyer's paying for the commission, let's say they have to pay $10,000 in commission, then it's just $10,000 additional money to close. It's not a credit towards closing costs or anything like that. It's not just like you have to prepay your property or homeowners insurance and that. Would
You're
just-
right. It probably would be looked at in like one of those. Categories. It's also new.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Nobody knows. But then, like Rich was saying, and then Rich and I have spoken about too. Okay, so the seller said, hey, no, I'm not paying the buyer, da, 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 da. But then if an offer is coming in, it doesn't mean that the buyer can't say, hey, you know, add a commission agreement, you're paying, you know, it's still, like he said, everything is still negotiable. We can
Right.
try to get it, but yeah, so far I only know I've only had one conversation.
I just wanna throw out there that there's nothing between us from adding into our agreement that if we represent the buyer, even though that seller doesn't wanna pay anyone else, we can negotiate for ourselves a
Yeah.
percentage.
Well, you guys already do that.
Yeah, but it can be,
Yeah.
because I just, everybody's not getting that.
Yeah.
Just thinking-
But I want clarity as to what is being said as far as we add to our agreement. What are you adding to the agreement?
Rich, it's Linda. So what
Yeah.
I was saying is, in the agreement, if they don't want to have cooperating, they don't want to pay that, we could
Right.
say, you know, Mr. Seller, if I bring in a buyer, I would like my commission, and be specific about, you know, it's me, Linda White. If I bring in a buyer in a dual agency, seller agrees to pay whatever that is.
Right, if he agrees to it, absolutely.
Thank you, exactly.
Yeah.
I just don't want anyone to think that it's not negotiable, you can do that if you. Thank you.
All right,
Is that a variable commission structure?
That would be a variable commission structure, and you would have to notate that on the MLS.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, Rich, thank you. Rich, is there any, because obviously we all know that there was a Carr has a lawsuit regarding the same type of stuff. Is there any updates on that, or you'll be getting that next month?
No, we don't really have any updates on that. It has to go through the legal process. I don't know. There's several associations and MLSs that were named, and I don't even think most of them have been served yet. So I don't know what the suit is about, and we just need to let the legal course go through its course until we know a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Any other questions for Mr. Rich Pisani? AKA President.
Past president.
Past president.
Yes, I have made the mistake of introducing a past president as former president and have been corrected. So I don't know what the hell that's about, but anyway, it's past president, but it holds no meaning really. Believe me.
Awesome. Well, we
All right.
appreciate you immensely, Rich. Congratulations again to a year well done in being our president of SRAR. You're just spectacular.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thanks. And join the class tomorrow because we'll expand this conversation. So yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Here's your flyer. Yep. So tomorrow at 4 p.m., what you should be saying at your listing presentation. I expect each and every one of you to be on it. All right. Yeah. Oh, and so thank you, Rich. And I also wanted to give shout out to Yanir, who he just opened his first escrow. So congratulations, Yanir. Great job. Okay, Jonathan. Oh, there you are. Come on down.
Hey guys, just wanted to bring it up again. On Thursday, I'm going to talk a little bit about health insurance and life insurance. This is something I started doing on the side during COVID because retail commercial did absolutely nothing at the beginning and I was bored. But I realized that a lot of people have a lot of misinformation on what is actually things that you need and what you don't need. I'm also going to go over a few different types of life insurance like IULs, which are Indexed Universal Life, which is a nice investment strategy for a lot of people, especially in our business. And if you're making over a certain amount where you can't put into like a Roth IRA or different things like that. So yeah, come to the class. I'll just let everybody know. And if you have any questions, I'll answer them. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. Okay, where are my notes? So have you guys heard that? Experts project home prices to increase in 2024? Yes. All right. So there you go. That's a market update. Yeah. So no. So I took some, and obviously this is nationwide that we're talking about, and then I'll get into the specifics of what's happening just around our office, right? But they so really it talks about, it says hold on a second, it's my right page. It says with mortgage rates dropping, and we'll have, as soon as I'm done with my piece, and Cindy will elaborate more on where we are with interest rates, etc. Because I think too, we have seen here in our office, right, more escrows. Like right now, we hit our highest number of open escrows at Calabasas escrows so far, right? So one, thank you all for your faith and your support and all that kind of stuff. In Calabasas escrow, it really is beneficial to the office and so on and so forth. But we're there's a lot more openings happening. Do you guys feel that? Do you guys kind of feel the momentum shifting a little bit? Okay, so it says with mortgage rates dropping, demand for home in early 2024 is likely to be strong and will again put pressure on prices similar to trends observed in early 2023. Most markets will continue to reach new home price highs over the course of 2024. Are they predicting huge increases? No. Maybe 2%, whatever. And but still it's an increase, because sometimes people are like, okay, it's, you know, it's a tight market, so on and so forth, but what people don't understand is we still have a inventory problem. Right? We have inventory issues, the inventory is still tight, whatever, adjective you want to use with inventory. But it's still, you know, sales are down. However, based on the numbers that I'll share with you, based on the numbers I shared with you, or that I will share with you, more listings are coming on the market right now. Christine,
Hey, guys. I just wanted to share, echoing what you just said, Stephanie. I have been doing a lot of business in Orange County, and I will tell you, 100 people at open houses, multiple offers going in. And I had my third offer for this one family, 87,000 over ask, still did not get it. And what I'm seeing is, and last year I also was doing a lot in Orange County, and I see it we kind of mirror Orange County for some reason a little bit later. That's just my opinion. But I mean, it's really crazy in that market, and even giving up appraisals or doing different things. It's insane. So I kind of feel that that's coming. And I think a little difference right now, what I'm seeing is the housing, they're pricing realistically, not low, not high, realistically, but there's nothing available. So people are jumping in, but even though my buyers are getting it, there's more coming. So they don't feel as frantic in a way. So I just wanted to give you guys that heads up.
yeah, I appreciate that, Christine. And I know Lynette's the same thing. I was conversing with her yesterday or texting with her, and I think they're on their third offer too, where they continue to get outbid. Right, so she had put an escalation clause up to a certain point in her offer yesterday, right? Just because they're just like, oh my God, we're tired of not getting home. So, you know, there's a lot of different, you know, all we can do is based on, you know, you guys are all boots on the ground. Hey, this is what we're seeing, this is what's happening, so on and so forth. So, you know, we're kind of predicting a potential robust year. Right? I think it will be better than last year, but no one has a crystal ball, right? It's an election year too, which brings about like, ooh, interesting. What will the year be like? But just go out there and just still have the conversations. But like I said, bottom line, if you're worried about home prices will come down, don't be. Many experts believe they'll actually go up this year, right? So just keep having the real estate conversations. God, I just totally, there was something I was gonna say, but here I wanted, so the numbers that I pull for statistics is strictly around this area, right? So it's Calabasas, Hidden Hills, Woodland Hills, and West Hills, right? So I'll share those with you. Okay. Oh, how do I get rid of this little guy? I can't see my shit. Okay. What do I do? No, I don't care about that one. I want this one. Okay. Okay, so these are expired listings. Right? I know you guys are like, I hate expired listings. That's how I built my business with expired listings. Look at what oh man. How come that? Oh, there we go. Oops. Back again. Okay. Look what happened in December. Just in our small little area. Are any of you calling expired? Alan is. Right? 70 in our little area. Right? So we're going July 49, 42, 52, 55, 43, boom, 70, right? End of year. Now, so far in January, we've had 24. Pay attention to them. Because those are people that want to sell or wanted to sell, but they're irritated, right? What's your experience with expired listings? Alan? Are they happy to hear?
A lot of people just want to take it off the market because they want to see what's gonna happen. They're like, well, that didn't happen the first time, we're kind of sitting here for a little bit before they make a decision.
Yep. Yeah, and so pay attention to those, right? To the expired listings. And now I remember what I was gonna say. So a lot of buyers, they're seeing, you know, they feel strongly that interest rates are gonna go down this year. So that's causing some people to get off the fence already, knowing, hey, you know what? And we can't predict, we can't say with certainty to them, right? We can't say, hey, you know what, you'll be able to refinance 6 months. Don't say that, right? But a lot of them are feeling, hey, I might go ahead and buy now, right? Knowing that sometime in the future, near future, hopefully, that I'll be able to refinance, right? And get the interest rates, because even if it goes down a half point or a point, right? If they have good credit or whatever the case may be, they can save a lot of money, but they can still get in their house. Right? So something to think about. Okay. Number of active number of listings and average days to sell. So you can see, right, active listings, we had 2052, 2071, 2083. Then December, we could all feel December tightening up, right? Like, oh my gosh, what the heck? December 1996 and so far 1989, right? And the average days to sell, have you know, it, and in this area, it's 50 days average. However, we always have to keep in mind because it's subject to, you know, whatever pocket, because it's macro and micro, right? And obviously this takes into account to Hidden Hills too, which sometimes those take longer, right, to sell, and sometimes they don't. So, okay, so these are number of new listings and sales volume. September, we had 298, 293, dipped down 240, 194. Now we're going back up. So far we still have what, another week? No, we have a little over a week left in January. So right now we're at 216, right? October was a good month of active listings in the volume. And then it's been going down. But as far as volume, but the number of listings are going back up. So go get your fair share, right? There's always people, at the end of the day, people are always buying and selling, correct?
Yes.
Right? So it's your job. You got to be a hunter, right? A hunter. Go out and find the people, you know, don't physically hurt them, but go out and hunt for those people that are looking to buy and sell. Remember, ask the questions. You know, I have conversations with agents sometimes, and we're talking about, you know, their needs analysis for sellers, so on and so forth. Be okay with asking questions, right? I know sometimes it's uncomfortable asking the nitty-gritty questions like how much do you owe, right? Those are, I mean, that's a simple one, but why are you selling? You got to get down to the true motivation, and then you got to figure out, you have to be a surgeon, you have to dissect their true, the big picture. Right, the big picture. And then also you ask, you know, our title people, right? So we have Jerry and we have Ben and we have, right? If you are going out, get a prelim. You know, they'll get a prelim for you before, you know, you guys put it on the market, so you know exactly what you're dealing with. Right? Exactly what you're dealing with. And what's interesting is, anyway, we have, I mean, I think this is a one-off, but there'll always be some people that overextend themselves, right? So we have Emilio's working on a short sale right now, where they actually owe more than, but they haven't been paying in a long time. So, you know, shame on them, right? They owe a bunch of different things. So, but without asking questions, you don't know what their true situation is and how you can help them. Because remember, we're always looking for people that are ready, willing, and able to sell. Okay. So historic count of average sales by month. So, I mean, look at you guys were all like, God, is it just me? I can't even tell you how many conversations I had with people last year that were like, is it me? Why aren't I selling anything? Why are my numbers down? Why is this, da, da, da? I did have some conversations with people that expanded their business. But a lot of people were going, what is the deal? So as you can see, I mean, look at the significant drop every year, right? So obviously we're only 23 days into 2024. So it'll be interesting to see what that number happens to be, but just keep having the conversations. So as you can see, the inventory, right? And the number of sales and the people, because this is twofold, it's inventory, right? And it's also the people that made the decision to buy something. Right? So the numbers, you know, in 2022, half of 2022 and all of 23, a lot of that was driven by interest rates, right? Because the buyers didn't want to buy And then the sellers didn't want to sell because they couldn't get an interest rate that was even competitive or close to what they currently have on their homes. Does that make sense? Any comments, anything that you, please, anything anybody wants to add based on what your experience is out there in the trenches?
Well, it's good people with me. Like, I remember it sucks for me if I don't have a listing on the community numbers. It's awesome when we have a listing, say, okay, cool, these were in the number. And on the outside, if we need to turn into a lower, you know, you can put that out there and people can geographic farm or on the or your database and say, hey, we've seen a smaller inventory than ever before. If you know someone, I put it on something else or whatever, if you know someone who's ever thinking about making this, they may actually make more in this upcoming market, this market now. Than what they would be before. And then if you try to go mod or AWS or whatever your preferred app is, make that a little pretty so you can find out their top capital. Yeah, you know, and see their need. But that's all I can think of hearing the numbers. I look at the numbers too, and numbers up when they're down, it's awesome. We sold the fewest homes ever in 30 years last year, and here, right? So that tells me that we're in the right place. You know, we're about to be either experiencing the upswing this year or the year after. So all I have to do is know my goals, work towards hitting those every day. You know, a lot more time than fail than not. So every day we can get closer to hitting that. Yeah, and it's just reality. You can do the same exercise with your preferred market.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're having this dialogue.
Yeah, thank you for that and for sharing. Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, remember, we always have the macro and we have the micro, right? And so you always want to make sure that you know what's happening in, you know, when you go on a listing appointment, you've got to figure out days on market, price point, so on and so forth. And at the end of the day too, no matter what market we're in, price, right? You have to price it. You have to price it accordingly. And the buyer is the one that sets the price, right? They're the ones that will say, hey, this is worth X, Y, Z, and I'm not gonna pay any more than that. And if you get a few people that are around that, then it's just like, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, you know, the buyers have spoken, right? Okay. All right, anything else that you guys want to chat about the market? Nope, okay. You're like, get on with it stuff. Okay, congratulations. December 2023 closed over 2 million. Lee Blackwood is out of control. The Duluth Grove, Lupra, and Team Smith. So congratulations to each and every one of you. We had a couple people, I was like, oh, can I budget a little bit? Because we had people like at 1.975. I'm like, okay, if I do that, then they'll call, yeah, whatever. So the people that were right on the cusp, right? It's black and white on certain things, right? It's like, so 2 people that were on the cusp that I'm going to go ahead and recognize anyway is, hey, oh, you guys probably want to know about that too. Rachel Tabak and Justin Bonnie. Congratulations on your sales in December. Kicking ass and taking names. Hey, look at that, our 2024 ALC. Yeah. Alan's like, really? I'm on it again? Yep. Eileen, Philip, Jasmine, Alan, Sanaz, Roger, Louisa, Linda White. So congratulations. Super excited to be working with you all for another exciting year. Calabasas escrow. Hey, come on down, Lisa.
Hi. All right, Lisa.
Lisa in the hat.
Hello, everybody. First off, I want to recognize our top 3 agents for last month was Linda White. And Philip and his lovely team. And they're on.
All right.
You guys are talking about conversations with people you come in contact. I'm not a realtor, I'm an escrow officer, but conversations with anybody you contact, just in passing, even in the gas station, give me your card. I'm known for 3 things in my life. 1, bragging about my 11-year-old grandson, right? Yeah. All the time. I love my Dallas Cowboys, even though they down every year. And then I work in real estate, and I'll have friends that'll come up to me and they're like, hey, you do real estate. Can you, my aunt's thinking about this. And I have to tell them, I'm an escrow officer, and then that goes into another hour-long speech of what an escrow officer, but I always say, I can contact you with somebody. But those are the three things, people that know me around where I live, anywhere on Facebook, they know those three things about me, so it's always very, very important to have conversations with everybody and hand out your cards. And then lastly, I want to talk about, I spoke to my old boss at Wood Ranch Escrow in Simi Valley. I stop there every once in a while. I stopped there this morning. It's right by the Starbucks, so I give her coffee. Wood Ranch, no, Wood Ranch Escrow. Did Simi Valley, but no Wood Ranch. And I stop in there and I give her a coffee, just say, hey, what's up? How's it going? And she goes, how's escrow for you? And I go, it's so strange because my Studio City office, there's hardly any movement at all. Calabasas, we're getting so many escrows in, and I told her that, and she goes, you know what? Those are the only files that are opening are Westlake and Calabasas in her office right now. So it's good to know that, just that this is a great, great area for you guys to be in, and people are moving, people are moving in, moving out, just keep the conversations going. We're here in escrow. My Studio City office is going to be moving, and so we're rebuilding an office. So for about 3 months, you guys are gonna see me every day.
Oh, God.
I don't wanna go through all that, so I'm going to, yeah, I'm excited about that. So
Yeah.
you guys can talk to me more, and I'm excited to see more of you, because being here on a part-time basis, trying to run the both offices, sometimes, you know, it's easier if I'm here, you guys can come right to me. Oh, and last thing, I don't know if Christine's still on here, but Christine, I always answer my cell phone. I've always told you guys this, you can always reach me. It was Saturday, Christine was down in Orange County making this offer for the 87,000 over asking, and she called me, I answered, she had a question regarding the contract, and I'm there, I answered the phone, she goes, thank you for picking up your call, and I always do this. So just remember that, that's my big strong point. And if you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything, just come see me, I'll be here all the time. Okay?
Hey, hey, Lisa, I'm just gonna say, yes, that's true. Thank you so much, Lisa. And it was amazing that she could, pick up and answer me right there where I was trying to write an offer. And, it was an odd thing. Anyway, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. And so she is a wealth of.
You didn't get it. Oh.
Same with Cindy. Cindy's always available. I appreciate Cindy so much because she'll answer my questions, and it's something I need to know. I need to know now. And so I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Lisa. Okay, Miss Cindy.
Speak of the devil.
There you are.
Okay, so, couple of things I want to talk about. One is we are having continued and more problems with condos lately. So just kind of keep that in mind. And the issues that we're having are some of the usual ones like litigation and deferred maintenance and, that kind of thing. But the one that's really rearing its head is insurance. They're underinsured, or there's special assessments involved. And because of that, a lot of these condos are turning into what we call non-warrantable condos. And almost nobody will touch, from a lending perspective, a non-warrantable condo. And even the ones who do won't do it for certain issues, like underinsurance, for example. But we do have one lender who so far works with just about everything.
What does underinsurance mean? How do they determine that?
So the they're supposed to have so much in reserves, and they're supposed to be insured for that amount, I believe is the way it works, yeah. And they're not, So what my word of caution is, if you are the listing agent that for a condo, find out if it's gonna be considered warrantable or not. Get the questionnaire filled out, ask them if there's any, check with me if you don't know what to ask them, but, ask them about, do they have any litigation, what's their insurance and reserve situation like, and that sort of thing, just so you know what. And then if you get an offer from somebody with a B of A loan, for example, it ain't gonna fly, you'll wanna know up front. If you're on the buy side, have a backup plan. So if they already have a lender that they're using, fine. you know, if they still wanna go ahead, even though there's, you know, issues with the condo, then know that you've got me in your back pocket and I've got at least one lender that can, do the deal.
This is a good reason why your sellers became execution that HOA document. That's quickly the cost.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, moving on from that, I have an update on the new California Dreamin' program, and I wanted to give you guys the highlights of it. It is coming out, they keep saying in the spring, you know, whatever that means, March-ish, I don't know. But the way this is gonna work is applicants have to complete a pre-registration package to screen for eligibility through their pre-registration portal. Qualified applicants will be randomly selected on a lottery basis to receive a voucher once the portal is closed. And then, they also have to upload a pre-approval letter from a CalHAPA approved lender, which we are, I think. And, the CalHAPA approved lender has to provide a voucher number at the time of the reservation lock. So that's kind of the general, but there's also some more specifics about the program here. So, the borrower income has to be within the certain guidelines, and in LA, the maximum income is $155,000. And interestingly, in Ventura, it's $195,000. I'm not sure why, but what that means is if I'm a borrower and my income is $160,000, I can get this program if I buy in Ventura County, but not in LA. Okay. There is a maximum 5% buyer down payment, so a buyer cannot put in more than 5% on this program. They can get a loan of up to 20% from the program. So it's in essence gonna be looked at, or in a lot of cases, as a 100% financing situation. So some other borrower requirements, each borrower has to be a first-time home buyer. And at least one of the borrowers has to be a first-generation home buyer, meaning they don't have, their parents don't own a home. And they have to be a current California resident ever. Home buyer education is required, but they also have to do a special education for shared appreciation loans. So there's 2 education requirements that are involved. There are no non-occupant co-borrowers allowed. So if the borrowers can't qualify for the loan on their own, they can't get mom and dad to help them. And then with the loan, they get is up to 20% of a down payment and share. And the way it works is that then once that loan will become due when one of these things happen. When they transfer the title, sell the property, pay off the first loan, pay off the subordinated loan balance, refinance, or file a notice, if a notice of default is filed. So any of those will cause the loan to be due, and the borrower is gonna have to pay back the 20% that they got from CalHAPA, as well as the 20% portion of the appreciation of the town. I don't know, it sounds complicated, I'm not sure if it's worth it. Minimum credit score is probably gonna be about 640, just so you know. And I already told you about the income limits. So there it is. I mean, there's always that free-for-all. I would definitely use this program as something to get people excited about actually getting on the fence over. Just like the whole interest rates are falling scenario. Some people, one thing that has been said pretty much everywhere, and I think one word describes the market better than anything, and that's soft. Things are improving, but they're not improving drastically. They're not improving quickly. They're just trending in that direction. So everybody is saying, don't wait. If you have a need, don't wait. The pent up demand is just getting more and more pent up the longer people wait, because stuff happens and you can't continue to wait. You've got a growing family. If you're you know, commuting way too far to go to work, you know, whatever those needs are, you're only gonna put that off for so long, and there's gonna be, the better the rates get, the more people are gonna be on the market. So this is just another thing to get people excited and interested to actually take the plunge and get things going. It's not a panacea, it's not a, you know, in my opinion, it's not a great situation, but if it gets someone in a home, then it is a great situation, so. That's all I got. Oh, and rates, I do wanna make sure that when I, see you guys every time up here, I wanna tell you what the rates are today, basically, and we're still in the 6.5 to 7 price range, so, just so you know, it dances every day, up, down, up, down.
And what's FHA?
It's about 0.5% less. And then right after this, training, we're gonna do a new agent, lender training, so please stick around for that if you're new or interested. And that's all I got, unless there's any questions.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, her new agent lender training after, so make sure that you check in with her. Do you have a couple things you want to say, Mr. ATL?
Yes, how much time will I get?
A couple minutes. Go on now.
So I'm gonna take a 10-minute conversation and bring it down to like 3 minutes. I want us to, and I was gonna draw on the whiteboard kind of tucked away, but picture on your piece of paper, if you're taking notes, or on your computer, type out quickly your big why. Like, define why it is that you're in this room, why you're sitting on Zoom the last hour and 20 minutes, right? There's something that you're searching for, because if you find it, you'll be able to unlock a piece of your business or a piece of your life that will just get you to launch forward. As crazy as it was that Justin shared that it was like his mom or whoever who told him no, it might be something like that that really gets you in a funk about talking to strangers or talking to people you know. When I first got into the business, I was told to cold call, and I did, and I got deals. Got listing appointments. My first people who I cold call, who actually replied really well to me, were the people who heard my answering machine message, right? And it was just literally the script with my name, my contact information, thought about reaching out to you about our home in Reseda, right? A move up situation from Pacoima to Reseda. That was kind of like the tip from RTL at the time. And people would call me back, like, hey, I think it was a sign, come over, assess my house, whatever, did it. So anything that you decide to do with enough effort and you're doing 25 to 50 to 100 contacts a day, it will work, right? Call people you know, call people you don't know. The reason why I put the why there, because my why at that time was so strong and still is today, because we were on WIC. We were broke. There was like no other like wall behind us. And if you don't know what WIC is, it's women, infant, children, right? That's a little voucher you get to buy your milk, to buy your powdered milk, to get your bread and your cereal, right? And I didn't care if the name of the game, what Eric was telling me, was to make cold calls, I'm gonna do it, right? There was nothing that was gonna stop me. Then we start optimizing, start getting better, and I had this weirdness around calling people I know, right? And the weirdness was, oh, well, they only know me as the insurance agent who was a flake, who didn't return calls, all this stuff, so I'm not gonna call them. Finally, there was a couple years into it, I did really well in real estate, you know, all things considered. It was like our best financial year ever. Obviously, we were off awake at that time, saving money. And I went into coaching because I felt like the year was an accident year, right? And the coach, when you sign up for a coach, they want you to narrow down your focus, right? Like list out all of your business that you've done and then attach where you got it from. And surprisingly, most of my business, 60, 70% came from referrals, right? People I started re-engaging with, networking, all this fun stuff. So we doubled down on meeting people that we did know. And when you start realizing kind of like why you want to do something, and then you start identifying the obstacles in front of you, you're able to overcome them, right? Tony Robbins, we're going to pay a ton of money to go out to family reunion and do all this stuff. His biggest takeaway at any of his big events is get leverage on you, right? Find out how you can move yourself out of your challenges and overcome your obstacles, right? So start off with your big why, and that might be a 10-year goal. Hey, I want to start this foundation that feeds the homeless, blah, blah, all whatever it is. I want to retire my parents. I want to provide my kids college. I want to do this. Whatever that is, write it out in a paragraph or a sentence, a couple sentences. Then break it down to like a 1 year, hey, this is what I need to do this year, such that by doing it, I can accomplish my 5-year and 10-year goal. And you're going to say, well, Philip, I need $1 million. Well, why? Why does it need $1 million? Is it really $1 million? Because if it is, you would have left this meeting 20 minutes ago to go prospecting. You know what I mean? There's be something that just gets you to go and go out and crush it, right? Sonia, I was about to call you Stephanie. You're Stephanie. You're Sonia. I'm so sorry. Sonia is a genius. She showed this to me on a napkin in Austin, I think it was. LID, lit. Your L is your lifestyle. What is it today that is your financial accountability and responsibility to make your life work? Meaning without that money, you're going into savings or you're telling your kids no to something, right? Like the moment you have private school, not that our kids are in private school, but the moment you have mortgage, private school, all of these responsibilities and accountabilities, you figure out a way to make that happen. We've done it in life. Your I is investment. You know, what are you saving for towards buying a house, investing in mutual funds, IULs, whatever is your investment pool, and then your debt, your taxes, your cost of sale, and your operating expenses, right? When you're in survival mode, you're not really thinking about the investments. The I kind of goes out. You look at lifestyle, you look at what the estimated taxes would be, your operating expenses, your cost of sale. As an example, for Monica and I, our LD without an I in between is $380,000 for the year. Okay, so now we have two options. We can either make that our goal for all year straight and think of survival mode day in, day out, or we can condense the time frame because we do have a much larger goal for investments to save and all this fun stuff, but we don't get there until we hit survival, right? So we condense the goal from 380,000 for a whole year and put it down to a quarter. Now our brains are like, oh my God, okay, let's break that down, right? You meet with Sonia, Louisa, whoever, 380,000, average sale 20,000 bucks. That's 19 sales in the first quarter. Okay, so if we have nothing, what are we gonna do? So I wrote out a couple of things you can put on your little checklist, and you would really boil it down. Find out your big why. Why is it you want to make this happen? Well, we have multiple families that depend on us. That's significant, right? There's plans and things that we want to do with our kids and family. And so the things that I would track down, and I'll jump out, the pipeline to track. So if you have 380,000 as your goal, whether for the quarter, for the month, for the year, if you broke that down by $20,000 commission, that's about 19 transactions. If you have a focus on one thing or the other, listings or buyer, focus on listings. So let's say half of that is going to be listing driven. So out of the 19, 10 sales will be listing. I'm going to take this right out of the MREA. The conversion from signed listing to close is 65%. Now, for someone like Roger Horn, it's a lot higher ratio. For Linda White, higher ratio. Figure out your ratios and then plug that in. You would need 16 signed listings to sell 10. The ratio from appointment to signed listing in the book is 80%. Again, for some people, that's a lot higher. Maybe for some, it's lower. But if you go off of 80%, you'll need to sit on 19 appointments to get 16 contracts. Okay. Then these are what you're going to track. You're going to track your closes, your pending sales. So this is like where the mindset of an MREA, a mindset of like when we're in the thralls of our business, we're focused on these pipelines and we're adding to them, right? Closes, pending sale, your active listings. So you're going to create assignments for your pending sales. Like, oh, hey, we need this appraisal done. We need whatever. Active listings, signed listings, hot sellers, active buyers. They're pre-approved, signed BRE, in the field with you, touring homes, writing offers with you. Hot buyers who need to get pre-approved, and your hot tenants. I just threw that in there. Apparently, we have a lot of tenants that we're working through. Now, when you took in a lot today, this is where I'm going to end it. What's the one thing today, such that by doing it, everything else becomes either easier or unnecessary? When you break down your big goal, you have your pipeline. Now you can formulate your 2 hours, your 4 hours, your 6 hours. We do something right after mindset. We call it our first and 10. And that's where we work that pipeline. Everyone who's closed all the way through a hot tenant, what's the homework assignment that we're knocking out right now, such that they're advancing in our pipeline? They're advancing from pending to close. They're advancing from active listing to pending. They're moving from hot buyer, active buyer to pending, from hot seller to signed seller, from signed listing to active, right? Our hot buyers. So that hour and a half is dedicated to that pipeline. Outside of having a meeting or fire coaching, we go right into our hour of power. That's our calls. And then we hit our lead follow-up. Those are the people we're moving into our new pipeline. Every day, ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes either easier or necessary? Is who's that person I'm connecting with? Prospecting, lead gen, follow-up, whatever you want to call it. Who is that person that I'm adding in? So thank you guys very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you, and thank you guys and gals for hanging in here. We're 15 minutes late. Okay, so remember, Rich's class tomorrow at 4. Please be on it. Remember, it's the Olympic year, it's survival of the fittest. You need to know how to have these conversations. Okay, we have the health and life insurance coaching with Jonathan at 1 o'clock on Thursday, and then the new Ruth Chris. I think it's kind of new, right? In Woodland Hills, where TGIF used to be. You guys, any of you guys remember that? Okay, so Ruth Chris, happy hour at 4 o'clock.
Can we have Rich's event